Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jacob. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Now, today we're going to be something a bit different. I'm in creative mode for a reason. That reason being, I'm going to create a ship that is called the Black Codex. Now, what's so important about the Black Codex? Well, if you have been paying attention, you will have seen some Dual Universe videos on my channel. Specifically, the Black Codex is going to be my main ship, or at least my home base in Dual Universe, or at least when it's in release form. I may not use the Black Codex as a base during Alpha and Beta because the world gets wiped. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get a circle which is going to be used as the main hub. It's going to contain all sorts of things that are needed, as I currently don't know what the full complement of elements are in the game. I don't know. I don't know specifically what needs to go in there, but the center bit will have room. What we're doing right now is we're going to build some tunnels that go off into different sections of the ship. The ship is supposed to be a circular plane with some verticality to it. If you have a look at Star Trek's deep space space stations like DS9, that's kind of the thing that I'm going for, but it's going to be smaller and octagonal instead of circular. Well, at least at the edges anyway. So these smaller one-man tunnels here, using glass as well. Just need to get up a gravity generator to show it off properly, and obviously we need power to get the gravity generator online. I don't really care for the parameters as of now because using it properly. So as you can see, nice tunnel there. I'm thinking of adding some mods in order to make that tunnel look a bit better, so instead of having full armor blocks, just have the plates where the windows would be, but they're completely opaque. So that looks pretty good, and I've got symmetry on, so it's going to do the other side as well. Excellent. So the next thing that we're going to work on is some larger tunnels, which are going to be off to the other sides through the symmetry plane of blue, noting that that isn't actually useful, but you get the point. These are supposed to convey larger amounts of people. Say these ones will go to the hangars, so I'll have two hangars, and a lot of people are going to need to go between them. Now, that's not saying that there are going to be a lot of people on the ship, but it's useful, especially if I bring aboard some crew members. I tried looking around for a 2x2 window in the blocks section, but I couldn't find any, so I'm going to have to stick with the 2x1s, which is okay. I'll probably install the mod that gets rid of the borders around the windows, but hey, you can't do everything. So the next step is actually getting the floor in place for the main room. Now, the main room is not supposed to be used as the bridge, it is more of a staging area. And what we're doing right now is doing a rim on the bottom so that it doesn't look janky and weird and things like that. Using the inverted corners and corner blocks. I tried a few designs, but it just seemed off. What I ended up with eventually was kind of circular. It's more of an octagon, but with the joints between the sides and the edge there. It's complicated to explain, you'll see it in a minute, but I try looking around for something that fits the kind of shape that's in front of us, but I didn't find any, so I just had to rely on slopes and inverted corners, which I will do in a second. You know, once I've made my mind up. No, I've not made my mind up. Okay, well, we're going to be watching this for a few seconds. So, why is it called the Black Codex? Well, I think, well, it's inspired off of the Black Library from the Warhammer 40k universe. The Black Library is a place that contains vast amounts of knowledge, forbidden knowledge, in fact. It's basically an Eldar craft world that's built inside the Webway. well, not built inside, but is inside the webway. So it's a bit complicated, and I'm probably not doing it justice, but that's kind of the impression. Since the organization that I'm going to be running is a spy agency, that's kind of fitting in theme. Now, the Black Codex, when it's constructed, will be floating in deep space using as many camouflage techniques as possible so that it doesn't get detected. Because if it does get detected, then I'm going to have to move it. And every time I return to it, I will move its position so that anyone who found it when I was away and going back to call their friends, they can't come along and destroy everything. Because on the Black Codex is going to be all the stuff that I need in-game in order to pull off my spy operations. But I'm not going to be doing spy work during Alpha and Beta. Instead, I'm going to be working for Alpha Academy, which is a organization that is there basically to help players start the game. So in Alpha and Beta, the Alpha Academy members, such as myself, will be learning how to play the game and also producing tutorials and guides and things like that to help newer players when they arrive. You see here I'm adding a second layer to the main hub, basically because I thought it wasn't big enough, and we could have 2 floors. We could, depending on how big everything is. So this should be able to fit factory units, which are basically assemblers and refineries, all built into one. I go for a nice rim on the outside, or the inside rather. Yeah, and then we cap off the top. What kind of word is that? Cap off the top there. Why did I say top? So we're using exactly the same pattern as we did on the bottom. Yeah, essentially. Just finishing capping off the roof, and that is the first section of the Black Codex completed. Now, it doesn't have any engines on this section. Those are going to be reserved for later. The next plan that we're going for is above the main hub. There's going to be a few walkways that head upwards into the bridge. That's where the thing is going to be piloted and everything. And then going off the main tunnels are going to be the hangar decks, decks, where we're going to store all the ships that I need, such as the ships that have gone missing, also known as I have stolen them, or personal ships that have cloaking fields, because my operations need to remain a secret. Now, because of the different sizes of tunnel, the bottom section doesn't look as good as it could be. I'm probably going to try fixing that. And then the smaller tunnels are going to go off into crew quarters and cargo bays. That's basically the plan. I have 2 years to finalize the design, so I decided to get started in Space Engineers to begin with. But until next time, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.